Hey, what's up guys? It's Jeremy. I want to talk to you today about why your work matters. Here you are, you're driving a truck, you're doing data entry, you're raising kids, you're a student, and you're wondering, is my life really making a difference? Are the things that I'm investing myself in really mattering? And I just want you to know that it matters to God and it matters to your community. I'm recording this on October 31st, 2017, and that means that today is number one, Halloween, and number two, the 500th anniversary of the Protestant Reformation. Now, the reason that's relevant to this topic is because the Reformation radically changed the way that people thought about work. Let me give you a little bit of background. Martin Luther, not that Martin Luther, Martin Luther, the Augustinian monk, was having a hard time with some of the things that he was being taught in the Roman Catholic Church because they weren't matching what he was reading in the Bible. Throughout the Middle Ages, the church had developed this belief that your behavior and your actions could contribute to your access to God, that the merits of what you had done gave you right standing. Closely tied to that belief was this notion that if you were really serious about your relationship with God, really devout in your faith, then you would work for the church, and then your work for the church as a priest or a monk would then contribute to your merit before God. But if you weren't really all that serious about God, then you could work outside of the church, but your work really wasn't of very much value. You unworthy peasant. So it was the people who worked for the church who were really the holy men and women of the world. Now, what Luther discovered as he was reading the Bible was that you don't gain access to God on the basis of your own merits. You can't earn God's favor. God's favor is a gift. Nobody deserves it, but God wants to give it. And so what you do is you believe God for his gracious gift. Now, what that means is that there's nobody who's a believer in Jesus that doesn't have direct access to God. This idea that all Christians have equal access to God, regardless of their vocation, it was called the priesthood of all believers. It massively impacted the way that people thought about work, because now work isn't something that you present to God in order to earn something from God. God doesn't need your work, Luther said. Your neighbor needs your work. And so your job now is to do good to society. And in fact, the way that Luther talked about this, it was really cool. He said, you are a mask. Whether you're a Christian or not, you are a mask behind which God hides as God does good to the world through you and me. This kind of thinking changed the world because it took the everyday tasks of changing diapers and milking the cow and selling shoes, and it dignified them. These are the very means by which God is putting clothing on people. This is how God is feeding people. This is how God is taking care of the world. It's happening through you and I. What that meant for all the countless people who didn't work for the church was that their daily activities, their vocations, were suddenly valuable. They were no longer thought of as second-rate citizens of God's kingdom. It also meant that people started thinking about their work as God's way of doing good things on the earth. And you know what that produced? The Protestant work ethic. And you know what that produced? Incredible social advancement. Schools, universities, hospitals, businesses, agriculture, the Industrial Revolution, men and women who worked hard to do good and move society forward. So, unless what you do each day is intrinsically evil, like you're selling illegal drugs to kids or you're making fur coats out of stray cats, what you do each day really matters. Even the most seemingly mundane tasks are part of what God is doing in the world. God is using you, whether you believe in him or not. And I hope you do believe in him. I hope you want to be used by God. There are very few things in this world as satisfying as being a willing participant in something bigger than yourself. So, that's my take. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button below. If you want to catch my scattered thoughts on a regular basis, subscribe to my channel. Hit the little bell next to it as well so that you get a notification the next time a video comes out. I usually post on Wednesdays. Until then, I want you to remember there is great purpose to your life. Take care, guys. It had a... Hey, if you want to dig into this topic a little bit more, Gene Vaith, God at Work, Tim Keller, Every Good Endeavor, and Gustav Wingren, Luther on Vocation. Dig in.